Hi, I'm Rebecca Martis. I'm a sophomore, and I am majoring in neuroscience. You made sure. You? What was it you made sure of exactly? Where were you? What did you secure for me? You have no idea. You wouldn't know the first thing about what was good for me. What I had, or missed, or lost. There are all kinds of liberties I could have had if my parents had been of my own blood. I could have hated them, and bitched about them, and left, and come back, and left. I could have betrayed them, and abandoned them, and returned and fought. All those privileges of a blood connection. I could have pushed to be free of them, because I could have known that I would have never been free. We would have been blood. Temper, whim, or anger, none of that would have budged what we would have had. We could have had a connection, but all of that is so much more difficult when there's no blood tie, because there's no reason for you to stay. There's nothing biological to beckon you back. That's a big strain to live with. Somewhere, good manners came into it. I couldn't be a real child because I was too scared that I would hurt them, or frighten them, or frighten myself. So don't tell me that you looked into them. You didn't look anywhere. You didn't know anything.
Where the Murray Smith. So it's
Tell me.
like a little bit like setting up the monologue.
So it's Billy from the play Love Child.
Okay.
Finding out that her parents weren't actually her biological parents.
Great. Thanks, Rebecca. So you put on your form all your availability and those elements?
Yeah, I basically summarized like when my classes ended. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is probably the best. Tuesdays and Thursdays are pretty much booked, but Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and weekends are good. So.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Meagan Green. I'm a sophomore. I'm a theater performance major, and I'm going to be doing a piece from this play called Incendiary, and it's this woman talking to her therapist about how beautiful fire is. I don't think you understand. A fire it's the most beautiful thing ever created. I dare you to show me something that can rival the beauty of a 5-alarm fire. You just couldn't. You can't. And I like art as much as the next person, but whenever I see a Van Gogh or a Rembrandt, I imagine, as I'm sure you do, what it would look like on fire. That split second before the painting caves in, that would be indescribable. But sadly, I don't think any of us will live to see it. I mean, we could burn prints, of course, just cheap gift store prints, but there'd be no melting paint, no disintegrating canvas, no... It's a waste. Thank you.
My name is Grace. I'm a first-year theater performance major. Fun fact. Well, I already said the theater thing, so like, I'm also a business management double major. It's not fun. I'm performing a monologue from What the Well-Dressed Girl Wears.
So like, what character you are, what's kind of going on in the scene?
I'm Sandra, and I'm talking to my friend who went to this Dance with the Sky that I've liked since like forever, and I'm trying not to be mad about it, but I'm kinda am. To not spoil anything. Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Why would I be mad? Just 'cause it's a double date and my guy isn't gonna be there 'cause I made him up. So it's just gonna be me and you and your date, Jimmy. Perfect Jimmy. And his dimples. I mean, it's Jimmy. He doesn't want to go out with me. He wants to go out with you. And he doesn't like me, even though, you know, I've been completely in love with him. Utterly since the 2nd grade. And I put those little presents on his desk and hung around his locker every day, and I put that tent in his backyard and slept there with that big Valentine's Day sign I made. I was there a week. Yeah, he was at his uncle's. And then when the sign didn't work, I thought, you know, bigger. Because maybe he couldn't read my writing, so I spent everything I had on this huge billboard that said, "Jimmy, I love you, ask me to spring formal." And then I spent all my money on that billboard, so I couldn't afford a ticket, so I just watched through the window. It was raining. I stood there in the rain, watching you and Jimmy dancing together. And you were looking in his eyes the whole time. His beautiful, sparkling eyes, so full of mystery and promise. You can just get lost in those eyes. And then a raccoon bit me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashlyn Brooks. I'm a theater major with a performance focus. And a fun fact about myself, I have a tattoo of a star behind my ear that no one really knows about, so. And my monologue is from One Tree Hill. It's like a popular show if anyone knows it. And I'll be playing a girl named Brooke Davis, and in the monologue she is making a time capsule, and she's speaking to someone basically about what she feels like today's society is. So you're probably looking at this and making fun of my outfit, right? Anyways, here's all you really need to know about today. If you're dumb, fat, sexual, and a guy, you're okay. If you're a girl, not so much. Somebody please tell me that's changed in the future. And somebody please tell me you've got love figured out. Because I've got news for you. It's pretty darn messy right now. But I guess it's always been that way, wanting to be loved, to find someone that makes your heart ache in a good way, feel understood. So if you're robots or aliens or whatever, and you're watching this right now and that feeling no longer exists, well, you missed it. And I feel sorry for you. Because as far as I can tell, that's what it's all about. And that's what it always should be about. Thank you.
I have a question. What's your previous experience in acting? Like stage, film?
I did film when I was younger, like commercials. So that's kind of a younger bubble. And then high school was only 2 years of theater. And then now it's like a little bit of film, a little bit of theater, just mixed in. Did you want more specific?
No, that's
okay.
That's great.
Okay.
My name's Josh Fittler. I am a senior in criminology and computer science here at Virginia Tech. Favorite movies, probably Gone with the Wind, just great piece of classic American cinema. And the scene I'm going to be performing for you today is an excerpt from Glengarry Glen Ross. It's Blake's monologue to motivate the rest of the sellers. And yeah, that's about it. Let's talk about something important. Put the coffee down. Coffee is for closers. You think I'm fucking with you? I'm not fucking with you. I am here from Mitch and Murray. I am here from downtown. And I am on a mission of mercy. Your name's Levine? You call yourself a salesman, you son of a bitch? No, you don't have to take this because you know the good news is you're fired. The bad news is you all have just 1 week to regain your jobs. And that starts with tonight, with tonight's sit. Oh, do I have your attention now? Good. Because we're adding a little something special to this month's sales competition. So you all know, first prize, Cadillac Eldorado. Anyone want to see what the second prize is? Second prize, set of steak knives. Third prize is you're fired. Getting the picture yet? You still laughing now? You have leads. Mitch and Murray paid good money for those leads. Use those leads to make the sales. You can't sell the leads you're given. You can't sell shit. You are shit. Hit the brakes, pal, because you are going out. What's that? The leads are weak? The fucking leads are weak? You're weak. I've been in this business 15 years. You want to know my name? Fuck you. That's my name. You want to know why? Because you drove down here in a Hyundai, and I drove here in an $80,000 BMW. That's my name. And your name is Wanting. You can't hang with the big dogs anymore. You can't handle the pressures of this life. So you go home and you complain to your wife about it. There's only one rule to how we live in this life. Get them to sign on the line that is dotted. You get in the picture, you fucking morons? A, B, C. A always, B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. A-I-D-A. A, attention. Do I have your attention? I, interest. Are you interested? I really hope you are, because it's fuck or walk. D, decision. Have you made your decision? For Christ. And A, action. Thank you.
Awesome. Do you guys have any questions for them? If not, do you have any questions for us?
No, ma'am.
Awesome.
What's your, do you have, what acting experience do you have in like theater or?
Prior theater experience, I did 2 cycles of Les Miserables, 1 cycle of It's a Wonderful Life. I have minor backgrounds in acting through a talent agency known as Advance LA. No major experience so far, but classically trained through Johns Hopkins.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Squiggley, and I grew up in Scotland. Fun fact. So my monologue today is called Sharing. Yes. Some people think I don't like sharing, but that really isn't true. I love sharing. I mean, what's not to love about being able to go up to someone and ask, hey, can I have some of your candy? And they just give it to you. Or asking, can I ride your bike for a little while? And you get to ride the bike. Sharing is awesome. Sometimes though, you have to be careful. Like if someone asked me, hey, can I have one of your cookies? Well, if I give them a cookie, then I might not have enough cookies to share with other people. And that's like the opposite of sharing. So I'd have to say no, because sharing is just so important. Thank you.
What previous experience have you had acting at, either film or theater?
I'm mostly a theater actress because that's really all we have in Blacksburg. But a few years ago, I did do something with the Virginia Tech student film people, but I don't really remember like who it was with.
So I'm Mindy Quigley, and a fun fact about me is that I used to work for a research center that was funded by J.K. Rowling. My monologue is going to be a reading from the book The Gruffalo, which is a children's bedtime story that I tell to my son every night. So let's begin. A mouse took a stroll through the deep dark wood. A fox saw the mouse, and the mouse looked good. Where are you going to, little brown mouse? Come and have lunch in my underground house.
It's terribly kind of you, Fox, but no, I'm going to have lunch with a Gruffalo.
A gruffalo? What's a gruffalo?
A Gruffalo? Why, didn't you know? He has terrible tusks and terrible claws and terrible teeth in his terrible jaws.
Where are you meeting him?
Here, by these rocks. And his favorite food is roasted fox.
Roasted fox, I'm off, Fox said. Goodbye, little mouse, and away Fox sped.
Silly old fox, doesn't he know there's no such thing as a Gruffalo?
Previous acting experience, film, stage, whatever?
I did a lot of acting when I was younger, and then I haven't done anything for like the last 15 or 20 years. So I've done musical theater, I did some film when I was in college, student film stuff, and community theater.
Do you have any questions for us?
Not really. Yeah, I think the thing I'm probably most interested in is voiceover work, so that's why I picked that piece. If you have any of that, but I can do other stuff too.
So you wouldn't be opposed to actually appearing in the film?
No, but
you'd much rather.
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I'm up for anything, but
all right, cool.
That's why I picked that piece.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
So hi, my name is Kevin Sandler. I will be performing a piece from Our Town by Thornton Wilder. I am a freshman. My major is Industrial and Systems Engineering. My favorite film is kind of embarrassing. It's Frozen. But fun fact about me. Oh, I can make a platypus noise. I think that was all the questions. So, yeah, my piece, it's about my character is in love with another character, and he's debating about whether or not to say goodbye to her before he leaves for college. And Emily, I want to ask you a favor. If I go away to State Agricultural College next year, will you write me a letter? The day wouldn't come when I wouldn't want to know everything about our town. Emily, you know, every time I ask a farmer, should I go to agricultural school? And some of them even say it's a waste of time. But like you say, being gone all that time, in other places, meeting other people, I guess meeting new people isn't any better than old ones. Emily, I don't want to go to another town and meet other people. Emily, I feel as if you're as good of a friend as I've got. No, I'm gonna make up my mind right now. I won't go. I'll tell Pa about it tonight. Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Do you?
What type of genres do you prefer acting? Like, what genres do you feel comfortable acting in?
I'm pretty good with pretty much anything. Like, I performed in Cabaret, the show over the summer, and I was this really angry guy. A lot of the things I'm in, I end up screaming a lot, so that's just a general trend I imagine. But I also like I was just like a sweet farm boy, I also enjoy that. So pretty much anything I'm pretty good okay with.
How do you feel about comedy?
Comedy? Yes, I do like comedy.
Do you have any experience in a strictly comedic role?
No.
Alright.
Not at the moment. Actually, yes. I just remembered this now. Last semester I was in Too Much Light Makes the Baby Go Blind, which was just like a bunch of skits. So basically all the things I was in was comedy, and it was just like making fun of me and such. So yes, I do.
That was hilarious. Too.
You watched that? Yeah, I was the one that was like screaming as I ran across the stage.
I remember now. Yeah, cool.
Does anyone else have any questions from this side? All right. Do you have any questions for us?
When would I hear back from you guys
So
about anything?
preliminary, Justin was thinking like midweek or the end of the week after spring break.
Okay.
All right. You might hear earlier, but that would be kind of the latest.
Okay.
I think so. All right.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming out.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Hi, my name is Laura Snyder. I'm a freshman. I'm actually double majoring in theater performance and marketing management. And what was, if there was anything else?
Favorite movie, if you want to tell us.
And then monologue.
And then contextualize your monologue, and then whenever you're ready to go into it, go into it.
Okay.
Okay.
My favorite movie would probably have to be The Avengers. And then probably Infinity War, because, and also my monologue it comes from a play called Enigma. And it's a very, very short play. And the two characters are named he and she, and I will be she. And she is essentially upset with her marriage to he, and she is expressing that to him. No. It happened to me. It didn't happen to you. You walked in and made up your mind like the heir of a god on a holiday. It was I who fell. Headlong, dizzy, blind. I didn't want to love you. It was a force too strong for me. But I had to, even though I knew you barely cared about me. I had to, because my heart was no longer in my own chest. It was in your hands to do whatever you pleased with. But don't you realize what it's like for someone to have absolute power over you? No, you have never felt that way. You have never been utterly dependent on someone for happiness. I was utterly dependent on you. It humiliated me, angered me. I rebelled against it, but it was no use. You see, my dear, I was in love with you. But you were free, and your heart was your own. And nobody could hurt you. Thank you.
Okay. So can I ask you if you've had any previous experience in acting for film or theater?
Yes, I have. So last semester I was in a student production. It was called Hiking Trail. Yeah. It was the director was Nathan Wheeler, but I don't remember your name. I'm really sorry. Yeah. But it was really fun. I really enjoyed it. And I was this was about a year or two back, but in the summer I was cast as an extra in the movie The Swerve that was filmed in Roanoke. And so I got to go on the set, and I actually had like my own scene with another, like one of my scene partners. So it was really fun. So that's kind of my experience so far.
Do you like acting in dramas, or is it another genre you prefer?
I love any genre. I do prefer drama just because it's a lot more juicy. You know, you really get to dive into the character. You get to dive into emotions more, as opposed to like comedic. You know, you really get to convey that emotion or really feel like you can really pique the audience's interest a little bit more with drama. So I do kind of prefer it, yeah.
Do you have any questions for us?
Not really, if it's okay.
That's perfectly fine. Well, thank you for coming out. Thank you very much.
My name's Trey. I'm a sophomore. I'm a criminology major. And fun fact about myself, my real name's George, but I'm like the third, so that's why they call me Trey. Yeah. And the character I'm performing is a girl. She kind of got kidnapped while she was being smuggled. And she's just giving like a kind of a spiel to like her kidnapper. Try to smuggle. I don't get sleep, but when I do, it's always nightmares. I sit in a pit of infinite amount of skulls, trying to remember their faces. I'm not scared, sad, angry, or happy. Nothing makes sense. Yet, it doesn't have to. Pain is make-believe, destiny is fulfilled, and life is had. I've left little memory in this expiring world. What's so great about this life? Seriously. Happiness is a fleeting moment. Money? That's pathetic. Our passions will never change anyone or anything. Love? We have no choice but to abandon it, and they'll return the favor. What happens after you die, Maybe God's God has something better. I've got to give myself a delusion. Let's see.
Hi, I'm Kyooyoung. I'm so nervous and a little bit excited. And I came here because of my husband. He is a visiting scholar. And as I am a foreigner, and because I'm still learning English, so my English is not so well. But anyway, I am so excited about the audition notice, so I just make my mind to try. Okay, let's be brave. So, but because I just contacted this notice this afternoon, so I didn't prepare anything. And in my home, I don't have a book, so I just wrote my book. I just read a few weeks ago, and I will read a little bit. But this book is about almost that stream of consciousness, unconsciousness. So there's not so much dialogues, but I'm looking for the part our protagonist was in trouble with some troublemaker intruded their home, so or house was threatened by his acting, but the problem are all solved, and he because he's a neurosurgeon and he has to go to the hospital right now, but actually his patient is that same guy who threatened his family right now. So that's why his wife is worried. Is it really okay to go there? And I forgot about that. I tried to skip that part and just to jump into the two parents are concerned of their daughter because their daughter 22 years old and she is pregnant 13 weeks. So these parents are so disappointed and worried about that, and I will read this part. But in the context, they are threatened by that bad guy, and the wife is very worried about he's here to be revenge or something. Okay. Because he's genuinely curious to know the story, but also to deflect her, he then says, "So, we're going to be grandparents." There's sadness in her smile. She's 13 weeks, and she says she's in love. Giulio is 22, from Rome, studying archaeology in Paris. His parents have given them enough money to buy a little flat. Henry contends with the fatherly thoughts, wittiness and outrage at this unknown Italian assault on the family's peace and cohesion. And he's impertinently depositing his seed without first making himself available for inspection, evaluation. Where was he now, for example? And the irritation that this boy's own family should know before Daisy's, is her name, her daughter's name, his daughter's name, that arrangements are ready in hand. A little flat. 13 weeks. Perron leans his hand on the door locks, ancient Brazil now. At last, Daisy's pregnancy rises before him in clear light. A calamity and an insult and a waste, a subject too huge to confront or lament. Now, when he is waited for up the road. Oh God, what a mess. Why didn't she tell us? Did she think about her termination? Out of the question, apparently. Darling, don't start boiling over when you're about to operate. How are they going to live? The way we did. In a bliss of sex and graduate party, taking turns with the baby Daisy as together, they sleeplessly raced through a low degree and forced a low job in the early years of a neurosurgery. He remembers himself after a 30-hour shift, carrying his bicycle 4 floors up a cement stairway towards the insomniac wail of a teething infant. And in their one-bedroom flat in Archway, holding the irony board away in order to fuck late at night on the living room floor by the gas fire. Rosalind may have intended such recollections to mollify him. He appreciates the attempt, but he's troubled. What's to become of Daisy Perron, the poet? He and Rosalind matched their timetables and worked hard at sharing the domestic load. Italian men, on the other hand, are puerile Anthony, who expect their wives to replace their mothers and iron their shirts and fret about their underwear. This feckless Giulio could destroy his daughter's hopes. Henry discovers his clenching a fist. He relaxes it and says untruthfully, "I can't think about it now." That's right, none of us can. I better go. They kiss again, unerratically this time, with all this restraint of a farewell. As he opens the door, she says, "I'm still worried about you going like this. I mean, in this mood. Promise me, nothing foolish." He touches her arm. "I promise." Yeah.
Have you acted before in theater or in other films, or is this would this be your first time?
Okay, about cinema, no, not at all. I haven't no other experience, but I have been actress in my country, Korea, as not a regular theater, the improvisational theater called playing theater. I've been there about 4-5 years.
Cool. And are you mainly working in dramatic roles or in comedic roles, or what's the mix of?
Pardon?
So the roles that you had there, were they mainly comedic, or were they mainly dramatic, or was there kind of an even mix?
Well, actually at that time, I could be anything because it's improvisational theater.
Oh,
so
improv.
yes. So when the audience tell his or her story at the time and right after the end of story, the actors, including me, just make a stage without preparation or without discussing between actors. Well, that's what I did, and I hope that I will do after go back to my country.
Does anyone else have any questions?
Oh, so nervous.
Do you have any questions for us?
Well, I just be here because it's cinema, and maybe you will be need anybody. So, well, and I think the middle-aged Asian woman would be rare in your case. I think that is why I came. So it does not matter to be a small part or doesn't matter. I think all part is important, and it will be a great experience to me. And I want to continue that the acting job, even I be here because I cannot do my job here. So that's why I'm here.